I will share with you this moment, this blessed moment that we have together tonight. I don't know the name of this part of the London. Is it Harrow? Harrow. Harrow, okay. This blessed moment that we have tonight here in Harrow. Harrow is a part of City of London?
Yeah, it's Greater London.
Greater London, right. In this small gathering here at the home of our brother, whose name I will not disclose, and to share with you our Islamic eschatological view pertaining to the Great War that the Christians refer to as Armageddon, and our Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, referred to as Malhama, and which is going to be a war like no other war has ever been, and most certainly no other war would ever be. How could I say such a thing? Listen to what our Prophet said, Allah's blessings be upon him. He said that the river Euphrates, which is in Iraq, will uncover a mountain of gold, and that people would fight for that gold. I have to speak slowly, even though I'm speaking to an English-speaking audience. It's nice to be speaking to an English-speaking audience, and I don't have to speak in French with my broken French or my broken Urdu or so. So, alhamdulillah. But the problem is that it's sometimes difficult for people to absorb something new. So I have to speak slowly with the hope that it might penetrate, be absorbed. That the river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold, and that people would fight for that gold, and that 99 out of every 100 who fight for that gold, therefore, who are combatants, would be killed. There's never been a war in history in which 99% of all combatants have been killed, and only 1% has survived. And each would say, I will be the one who will survive. And so they enter into that war not knowing what's going to be the outcome. This has to be a war which uses weapons of mass destruction. It cannot be conventional warfare, no. There's never been a war like that in history. Today we have something called, I don't know whether you've heard about it here in London, but in the rest of the world we know about it as nuclear weapons and thermonuclear weapons. Have you heard about it in London?
Just about.
Nuclear weapons? Oh, good, fine. I'm happy to know that London knows about it. London is a very busy place, you know. So there are weapons called nuclear weapons and thermonuclear weapons. And it was the Russian defense minister just said we need to send only 2 of our missiles to, and Britain will be gone with 2. The whole of Britain will be gone with 2. They just send that message. So these are weapons never before used in history. That's the state of the military science today. So each would say, I would be the one who would survive, not knowing who is going to survive. But those who believe in the one God and who belong to the community which follows Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him, who are called Muslims, when in fact anyone who worships the one God is a Muslim. But we have hijacked the term, so we are the only Muslims. The Muslims must not touch that code. So we are not going to be in part of that war. There is a difference of opinion pertaining to methodology for the study of the scriptures, the Quran and the hadith. Hadith would be the guidance which has come from the Prophet ﷺ. That one part of the world of Islamic scholarship says, they call the Salafi, they say that no verse of the Quran or no hadith of the Prophet can be interpreted. No. Unless the Prophet himself interpreted it, or it was done by the early Muslims. So if the Prophet said that a mountain of the metal, gold, will come out from underneath the river, we are obliged to wait for that. And then we have another part of the world of Islam which has similar methodology to Christians and to Jews and so on, in which we say, no, we are allowed to interpret religious symbolism when we recognize it as symbolism. And we say this is symbolism. So don't wait for a mountain of the metal to come out from underneath the river. No. This is symbolic language. We have said that our interpretation is that it is an ocean of oil underneath the river, which will one day function as a mountain of gold. And that is what happened when the US dollar lost. It lost the fig leaf that it had in the Bretton Woods Accord and the International Monetary Fund, that the US dollar was backed by gold. When that was lost, then the US dollar was in no man's land. It could have collapsed, oh yes, for 2 years. What were those 2 years? From when to when? You can't answer that question, no dinner for you.
71 to 73.
71 to 73. Alhamdulillah, you're going to get dinner. 1971 to 1973. And then in 1974, they pulled this rabbit out of the bag. It was Henry Kissinger who did it, and got a deal with King Faisal of Saudi Arabia. The poor king didn't have more than peanuts in his head. Yes, yes. And he agreed to the request of Henry Kissinger that oil should be sold for only US dollars. You couldn't buy oil with anything else but US dollar. That was bogus. That was fraudulent. That was haram. That was illegal in terms of our law. But the king agreed to it. Even if you came with gold dinar, you couldn't buy oil. When Saudi Arabia got all the other oil-producing countries to agree, they would sell oil for only US dollars, and then OPEC also agreed, then the petrodollar was born. And that's what the US dollar is today. Now, I'm aware that most of you would know already all of this. Most of you, because you've been listening to me. But some may not be aware, so please be patient with me. Okay? So the petrodollar was born in 1974. The US dollar is no longer backed by gold. Now it is backed by oil. So long as there is a demand for the US dollar, you can keep on printing. And you have to have US dollars if you want to buy oil. And oil is the largest commodity traded in the world market. So every government in the world was now forced to ensure that they have a substantial amount of US dollars for the purposes of buying oil. And then the US dollar from oil became also the money of trade and the money of traveling and the money of paying for goods from others. You in Malaysia and you want to buy from China, you have to pay in US dollars. So then the US dollar became a petrodollar, and an ocean of oil underneath the river began to function as a mountain of gold. This was what year? 1974. Were you born yet?
I was born a few days after 71.
71. Okay. Now then, but he went on to say that there's going to be a war. They're going to fight for that mountain of gold. Meaning, there's going to be a threat to the petrodollar monetary system. And that's going to precipitate the war. That threat has come now. This unjust, bogus, fraudulent, exploitative monetary system, which is functioning like a vacuum cleaner that you clean your carpets, and it's sucking the wealth of mankind like a vacuum cleaner.